I'm back in the kitchen this week sharing some spring-inspired recipes. So think bright, colourful dishes packed with fresh ingredients and feel-good flavours. I've got this beautiful asparagus wild garlic couscous, beetroot candied pecan, pickled red onion and tahini yogurt sharing plate, and a black bean salmon quinoa recipe which is perfect for meal prep. I have no doubt that you're going to feel inspired and take away something from this video. I think it's safe to say that the seasons changing feels like a huge relief for most of us. I want to share with you some things that I have been taking as part of my new routine. A big thank you to Ritual for sponsoring this week's video. The Ritual supplements that I've been loving on include the Stress Relief and the Magnesium Plus. Stress Relief is a once daily supplement designed to help reduce stress and support the body's normal cortisol response using Ritual's BioSeries technology. This releases ingredients instantly and gradually, meaning that you have up to 8 hours of support. So it includes 3 clinically studied ingredients, all of which I personally love. So these include ashwagandha, which helps support normal cortisol levels, L-theanine, which provides a sense of calm without making you feel drowsy, and then saffron, which has been studied to support a more positive mood over time. I've been taking the Stress Relief in the morning and I really love that it helps me feel calm and focused, but it doesn't make me feel sleepy. I've noticed a big difference on days that I take it versus days that I just forget. Especially on those busy, chaotic days, I can definitely feel that it's doing something for me. So in the evening, I've been taking the Ritual Magnesium Plus as part of my wind down routine. This is a blend of magnesium, bisglycinate, and tart cherry powder designed to help support mind relaxation, sleep, and muscle recovery. So if, like me, you are doing a little spring routine reset, these have been a great addition. Stress relief in the morning for calm, focused days, and magnesium at night to help wind down. For 25% off your first Ritual order, you can go ahead and click the link in the description. A big thank you to Ritual for sponsoring this week's video. Let's jump right in to the first recipe. Let's go. This is my asparagus and wild garlic couscous. This recipe just embodies spring. It is vibrant, it is green. The color alone is just gonna lift your mood. The flavors within this dish, the abundance of herbs that we're about to use, it's crazy. Always have a bunch of random herbs on deck. You can really just work with whatever herbs you have, maybe some leftover herbs, or maybe just your favorite herbs that you enjoy. I've got a combination of parsley, I've got some mint, I've got a little bit of dill. The main ingredient for this dish is all of that wild garlic. We'll be needing some asparagus along with some peas. I've just got some frozen peas. So yeah, frozen peas, fresh peas, whatever you have, make it work. So we'll be needing some couscous. I'm using some giant couscous. You could definitely use some fine grain couscous. If you want a gluten-free option, quinoa would work really well. Other ingredients include lemon, olive oil, a little bit of sumac. So yes, let's start with this. So we're gonna add the shallots to a bowl along with some lemon zest. We're also gonna be using the juice later. So yeah, keep the whole lemon. We can go ahead and add some salt and a good generous glug of extra virgin olive oil. We're gonna continue chopping up all of the other ingredients. You can just let the shallots sit for a little bit with that salt and the lemon zest just to bring out the flavor. So we're gonna move on by chopping up all of these fresh herbs. So I just grabbed them and I chopped them all together, including the wild garlic, which I am keeping raw. I want the wild garlic quite intense within this dish, so I'm not cooking it. As finely as possible, we're gonna chop up all of those herbs. Like I mentioned earlier, mine included some parsley, a little bit of mint, some dill, and some wild garlic. Once I combine the chopped wild garlic with the warm couscous, the warmth, the heat from the couscous is going to just mellow everything out a bit anyways. So preparing the couscous, I prefer just to toast the couscous slightly in the pan before adding in either broth or water. For today, I'm just using water. So yeah, I placed my couscous in a pan. So you want to lightly toast it until it has a little golden touch. This is going to give it that nutty, delicious taste. After a couple of minutes of toasting and just keeping that pan moving, you're going to add in your liquid. So that could be stock or water. Like I mentioned, I'm just adding in water with a touch of salt. So just stir everything, reduce the heat, just let the couscous steam in that water, just let it cook. So grab your asparagus spears and you can just remove the ends, so that kind of woody, fibrous part, and then I cut each spear into 3 pieces. So grabbing a pan and heating it on a medium heat, I drizzled in a little touch of olive oil. Once heated, I placed in the asparagus, seasoned with a little bit of salt, and just kept everything moving in that pan for a couple of minutes. We're going to kind of flash cook this asparagus. We don't want to cook it for too long. We want it to retain that beautiful green color, also have a little texture to it. We want that bite, we want that crunch. For me, with these frozen peas, I just poured over a little bit of hot water, then just rinsed off the water. So assembling everything up, we're gonna grab that bowl with those shallots in. So just place in your cooked asparagus along with those cooked peas, that couscous, all of those fresh herbs, lemon juice, an extra drizzle of olive oil, some more salt, some more pepper. I also added in a touch of sumac, which is so perfect for this dish. So the heat from the asparagus and the couscous is really going to accentuate all of those flavors from those wonderful fresh herbs that we've finely chopped. So if raw wild garlic is way too punchy for you, this will definitely, like I said, it will mellow it out. Just combine everything in that bowl. If you want to take this to the next level, it's completely optional, but an optional add-on ingredient is to grate some Parmesan in. I would highly recommend it. If you eat dairy, if you just want an extra layer of yumminess, do this step. I took one bite of this and I could not stop eating it. You could serve this up as a beautiful side. It's a wonderful sharing plate. It's even perfect for meal prep. It keeps so well in the fridge. It didn't last long because I ate every single bite. I put it in my Tupperware and I ended up eating it all. This one is absolutely delicious. This is my beetroot, candied pecan, pickled red onion and tahini yogurt recipe. I love a good sharing plate, and I also love all of the ingredients within this, especially beetroot. I'm always talking about beetroot. I'm always cooking with beetroot. It's probably one of my favorite vegetables. Honestly, the best recipes just come together when you're in a flow state, and that's exactly what this recipe is born from. Just me experimenting with random ingredients that I had and just layering everything up, and it worked so incredibly well. Main ingredient, we'll be needing some beetroot, of course. If you would like to use pre-cooked beetroot, that is absolutely fine. It will work, don't stress. We'll be needing some pecans. You could definitely swap and use walnuts if you'd prefer. Some cranberries to combine with the pecans. We'll be needing a red onion, which we are going to quickly pickle. Lots of fresh parsley. Other ingredients include some red wine vinegar, lots of extra virgin olive oil, and some feta, which is optional to top. Preparing the beetroot, my method, and it has been like this for the longest, is just to simply grab my pressure cooker and put my beetroot in there with some water. If you'd like to roast your beetroot, you can do that. If you'd prefer to peel it and just cut it up and steam it, you could also prepare it in that way. So for our pickled red onions, we're going to start off by as finely as possible, finely slicing up some red onions. You can go ahead and place them in a container or a jar, just something that you'll be able to put a lid on. To pickle these red onions, we're going to combine some sugar, some salt. I'm using some red wine vinegar along with a little bit of warm water, and just whisk everything. Just pour that all over the red onions, just making sure the onions are submerged in all of that liquid. Just cover. You can place in the fridge or you can just leave out if you're using them straight away. So we're gonna make these candied pecans. So grabbing our pecans and just roughly chopping them up, heat a pan, and then just simply throw them in. You want to get them toasty. You want to get them smelling fragrant. You can go ahead and place in a little bit of salt and just keep that pan moving for a couple of minutes. So remove the toasted pecans from the pan, just set them aside. So back into that same pan on a low heat, you're gonna swirl in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Place in some thinly chopped garlic, just letting the garlic cook slowly. After a few minutes, once the garlic has softened a little, you can go ahead and throw in those chopped cranberries along with a little touch of honey, and you can place those toasted pecans back into the pan and just combine everything. For me, the cranberries are like a star ingredient for this recipe. They're just gonna add a subtle sweetness, a tartness to this dish, just really elevate everything in this recipe. So for the base layer, we need something cool and creamy, so really simple. We're just gonna combine some really thick, delicious Greek yogurt along with some tahini. I placed in some salt along with some ground cumin, some lemon juice, and just simply whisked everything until whipped and delicious. So removing the cooked beetroot from the pressure cooker. These beetroots are medium to large, so depending on the size of the beetroot, the cook time will vary. I left these in for about 20 to 25 minutes. So once the beetroot had slightly cooled down, I just removed the skin just by using my hands. I don't worry about stained hands when touching beetroot because it is going to wash off. Do not worry. This is the easiest way to do it. Just remove that skin, it will slip off. So dicing up that cooked beetroot, I just placed it into a bowl along with some salt, some finely chopped fresh parsley, some black pepper, and a good drizzle of olive oil, keeping it very, very simple. So my absolute favorite part of preparing this recipe, we're gonna plate this up. So starting off with that yogurt tahini base, Placing on that cooked herby beetroot. After about 10 to 15 minutes, those red onions would have pickled, so you can go ahead and place a layer of those on. I then like to place on the candied pecans, then another layer of the pickled red onions. Completely optional, but I love to crumble on top some feta. I just think it ties this whole dish together. I swirled on some olive oil, gave it a little touch of black pepper, and this was ready to devour. And when I tell you I devoured this dish, I devoured this dish. This one is mwah, delicious. This is an example of taking some simple whole food ingredients and just transforming it into something spectacular, something that looks visually appeasing, something that you can enjoy with friends, with family, or you could just enjoy by yourself, because there is nothing like pouring into yourself, nothing like showing yourself the love that you show others. So last month when I was traveling, this was my plain food. I never trust and rely on plain food. No. I don't really enjoy plain food, so I always want to have something just in case. So this is my black bean and salmon quinoa, perfect again for meal prep. Got a variety of protein sources. We've got salmon, we're going to be using tinned salmon, along with some black beans, along with some cherry tomatoes. We'll also be needing some olives, not essential, but optional. Lots of fresh herbs. I've got some parsley and some coriander. I like the combination of both within this. So starting with the quinoa, I always like to put my quinoa to soak, even if it's just for an hour. For me personally, I find that it just cooks and tastes a lot better. So once the quinoa had been soaked for an hour, once it had been washed, I placed in some salt along with some fresh water, and then I just put it to cook. Let the quinoa cook. We're gonna move on to chopping up all of these fresh herbs. So all of that parsley and coriander, just finely chop it. So grabbing a large bowl, we're just gonna whisk up a quick dressing. So that includes throwing in some olive oil, some good quality extra virgin olive oil, a touch of honey. Got this really gorgeous Mexican honey that I'm using, a little bit of Dijon mustard, some salt, some black pepper, some cayenne. So combining the dressing well, we can go ahead and add in those fresh herbs with that chopped shallot. So open up your beans if you're using tinned or jarred and just give them a really good wash. Place the beans into a bowl. If you want, like me, you can squeeze over some extra lemon juice and just combine. It's a great idea to just let those beans sit for as long as possible. Even if it's just for 10 minutes, it will just make a difference in how they taste. So other ingredients that we're adding in include those chopped cherry tomatoes, along with some olives, which I chopped up. So when the quinoa is ready, once it's looking something like this, you'll know that it's ready once the grains are translucent and it's looking fluffy. Go ahead and add in that cooked quinoa. Just like the asparagus and wild garlic couscous, adding in that warm couscous, we're gonna add in that warm quinoa, and the heat is just gonna gently soften the fresh herbs, just really bring those flavors together. Last step is to throw in the tinned salmon. You can go ahead and just combine everything. So for an extra crunch, if you'd like, I really love doing this step, you can go ahead and toast some pumpkin seeds. So I just toasted them in a pan, and then I just slightly crushed them with a little bit of salt in my pestle and mortar, and yeah, just threw the seeds on top. This is my current lunch on the go obsession. Simple, effective, delicious, balanced. It makes me feel good. It keeps well in the fridge. I love this one. So there we have it, 3 incredible spring inspired recipes. Let me know in the comments which one you will be trying out first. For more of my recipes, you can check out my ebooks, which are over on my website. I will see you all in my next video. See you.